Hello everyone, it's Cameron, welcome to another video. Now today we're going to do something a bit different here. Today we're going to be going over a series of Elvis releases that I find very interesting and I know are interest to some other fans as well. I've done a video on like the Legendary Performance series, but I wanted to do a video of albums, of some CDs and albums that I found very interesting and consisting of studio outtakes. And it's this series called Essential Elvis. Now this was a series that ran for 6 volumes between 1986 and 2000, and I'm going to go over them all. They consisted of studio outtakes from different eras of Elvis's career, from the 50s up to the 70s. They were made available on both vinyl and CD. The first 3 volumes were vinyl and CD, and then after volume 3, the next 3 were CD only. But I'm going to go over them anyway and talk about them in detail. And yeah, this is a great and interesting series. Now you may remember we had a series previously called A Legendary Performer. Well, this is kind of like that, but a bit different. This is kind of focused on alternate takes. The Legendary Performer series did have alternate versions. But yeah, this is kind of like the first real kind of big unreleased outtakes series kind of thing. So we're going to go over them all in detail. So the first volume came out in December of 1986, and it was this, Essential Elvis Presley. The first movies, it says. No, it was also known as, in America, the first movies. That's what I meant. There's the back. This is mono. Really like the cover design. They've kind of reproduced it to look like the vinyls. Like say when you bought the Elvis records back in the 60s and what the albums kind of look like. It's a very sort of similar design with like the mono in the corner and then have it on the back. Tracks in the back. This album consists of alternate and released versions from Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock and Lovin' You. So Elvis's first 3 films. Gatefold explains about all the films and even the recording sessions as well. And even pictures from each film. Show that one in the middle there. This is what the vinyl looked like. Now, go to the track listing. So side 1 starts with Love Me Tender, basic version, Let Me, Poor Boy, and we're going to move all the released versions from the Love Me Tender film and Love Me Tender EP as well. Lovin' You, unreleased slow version, take 10. Party, unreleased version. Hot Dog's the basic version, so is Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear. Lovin' You, unreleased fast version, takes 20 to 21. Mean Woman Blues, alternate film version, which I think was the same version that was used on the This Is Elvis release. Got a Lot of Living to Do, unreleased version. Lovin' You, unreleased fast version, take 1. Party, basic version. Lonesome Cowboy, basic version. Jailhouse Rock, unreleased with vocal overdub, take 6. Treat Me Nice, take 10. Young and Beautiful, take 12. Don't Leave Me Now, take 12, which I think was the version that they used in the film. I Want to Be Free, take 11. Baby I Don't Care, original version, take 16 with the vocal overdub from take 6. Jailhouse Rock, take 5, Got a Lot of Living to Do, basic version, and Love Me Tender, unreleased version. That's the only unreleased thing from the Love Me Tender part. It's basically the version that had the extra verse at the end of the film. So I'm going to show the record. And the record looks like this. A really nice reproduction and homage to the label that was used on the 60s releases back in this country in Britain, in the UK. Quite a nice little touch there. And my copy of this came with a insert advertising the All-Time Greatest Hits album, which I have in both vinyl and CD. So I'm going to show you the CD and vinyl of both the first 3 volumes, so you can have them both. And here's the CD version. Much similar, just a bit smaller. But this one, however, has a few extra tracks. I'm going to have to read the LP sleeve and CD to kind of go over them, to see what's what. But basically, we got Lovin' You, unreleased slow version, take 1. Mean Woman Blues, basic version. Lovin' You, unreleased fast version, take 8. And Treat Me Nice, basic version. Those were the extra tracks that were on the CD. And the booklet, I'll show you inside. Same information as the LP and whatnot. that was that one. That was the first volume. A good album, really good representation of the first 3 movies, both originals and alternates. So good volume. They're all good albums, I think. Then the next one came out in either December of 1988, but it didn't get into the charts until January of '89. I don't think. And it's this one, Stereo 57, Essential Elvis Volume 2. This is the second volume. This one has stereo tapes of the 1957 sessions, or a good few of them. Which back then, stereo wasn't really a big thing, and they back in 1957, stereo wasn't yet. I think it was mostly all mono. But it says up here, a couple of years before the advent of the stereo disc in 1958, major record companies had been experimenting with stereophonic recording of classical music, often referred to then as binaural. In the popular music sphere, however, the state-of-the-art studios were using the new Ampex 2-track tape recorders for making binaural tapes for other purposes. The engineers would place, say, the vocalist or soloist on one track and the backing band on the other. This enabled further engineering and mixing to produce the final mono master after the performance had left. In the earliest days, as in the case of the Elvis sessions, the binaural machine was run only as a safety copy. So basically, these are kind of binaural tapes, and as well as a stereo tape. And there's something very significant about them, because on the back of the tape boxes, they say erase, and I presume that these tapes were supposed to be wiped because many Elvis session tapes of the 50s were recorded over. But fortunately, these 1957 stereo session tapes survived. I'm not sure how they survived, but they did, which is great that we have that. Gatefold sleeve explains about it all and whatnot. Liner notes, which you can see here, and some pictures from Elvis either in the studio or on stage. So yeah, very cool there. So what the tracks on here are I Beg of You Take 1, which is in a different arrangement to the released version. Is It So Strange Take 1. Have I Told You Lately That I Love You Take 2. It Is No Secret What God Can Do takes 1, 2 and 3. Blueberry Hill take 2, Mean Woman Blues take 14, which is basically the release version but in stereo, but you get a few more seconds at the end than you do in the original release version. There'll Be Peace in the Valley for Me takes 2 and 3. Have I Told You Lately That I Love You takes 6. Turn It Over to Side 2, we get Blueberry Hill takes 7. That's When Your Heartaches Begin takes 4, 5 and 6. Is It So Strange takes 7 and 11. I Beg of You takes 6 and 8. Peace in the Valley takes 7. Have I Told You Lately That I Love You takes 12 and 13. And I Beg of You take 12. So that's that volume. And I'll show you the record as well. Again, similar design, but this time it's in white kind of lettering, whereas the last one was kind of silver lettering. Oh, drop that on the ground almost. So yeah, really nice release. Another really good volume. A good release. And the stereo tapes have seen, and there's been further more stereo session tapes that I've seen release on the close-up box set in 2003, which I'll probably will do a review as well. But yeah, nice cover as well. So these are like recorded in like the Radio Recorders Studios. And the CD version, which is here. There's the back, the tape box is there. And it has 4 bonus tracks, but the bonus tracks are all the basic versions and in mono. So we get I Believe take 4, Tell Me Why take 5, Got a Lot of Living to Do take 9, All Shook Up take 10, and Take My Hand Precious Lord take 14. And they're all like the mono masters. So anyhow. So but anyways, here's the booklet. Again, very similar. These are really great sessions to listen to. It's always interesting to hear the versions that differ from the released versions in some cases, and even great to hear Elvis kind of giving a bit of chatter and banter with like the band or like the engineer. And it's even always interesting to hear the engineer, say like the kind of matrix number of the track and take number. So that's very interesting. I always like to hear that. Now this next vinyl is a recent purchase, but I'll show this in my next vinyl update, but I'll show it here anyway. And then the next one came out in July 1990, and it's Essential Elvis Volume 3, Hits Like Never Before. This one is like the 1958 sessions, and this focuses on like the kind of King Creole and some of the single material as well, so this is really, really cool. We get this mono again, and more kind of notes about the tracks. Gatefold sleeve, it has like a timeline of what was going on in Elvis's life from December 1957 up to January 1959, so kind of like when he went into the army and stuff like that, at this period. So we go over this track listing. We get King Creole, track E, take 18. I Got Stunned, take 1. A Fool Such As I, take 3. Wear My Ring Around Your Neck, take 22, but it's the undubbed version. Your Cheating Heart, take 9. Ain't That Lovin' You Baby, unreleased mid-tempo version, take 1. Don't You Think It's Time, take 40. I Need Your Love Tonight takes 2 and 10. Lover Doll takes 7, the original undubbed version. As Long As I Have You, take 8. Danny, which was first released on the Legendary Performer Volume 3 album in 1978. King Creole, another unreleased version, take 3. Crawfish, the unreleased full-length version with the female vocal by Kitty White from the King Creole film, take 7. Ain't That Lovin' You Baby, take 1. Sorry, A Big Hunk of Love, take 1. Ain't That Lovin' You Baby, fast version featuring false starts, takes 5 and 11. I Got Stunned takes 13 and 14, featuring a false start. Your Cheating Heart, take 10, which was the master on the Elvis for Everyone album. I Got Stunned takes Wear My Ring Around Your Neck, take 22, the original single version with the Elvis slapping the guitar and the piano overdub. Steadfast, Loyal and True, take 6, and I Need Your Love Tonight, take 5. So we get quite a bit on here. I'll show you the LP. So this will be the next vinyl update because I recently got this, but I'll speak about it in a bit more detail. But yeah, another really great volume, I must admit. I really like a lot of the alternate performances on here. Especially the alternate take of I Need Your Love Tonight, which is one of my favourite Elvis songs from the 50s. The LP and CD are both similar, but they have bonus tracks. This one here says included unreleased. The vinyl says here included unreleased 13 unreleased performances, and the CD here says 16 unreleased performances. And the bonus tracks in the CD are Don't You Think It's Time, Spliced, the single master from takes 40, 47 and 48. I Got Stunned, take 12. King Creole main title instrumental version, take 8. And another version of As Long As I Have You, but take 4. So that's the CD version. That's the disc. And your usual booklet. Kind of same liner notes as the LP. So there we have those three, and that was it for a good few years. And that was kind of it for a good few years. Between 1990 and the next volume, they were putting out Elvis's catalogue in these box sets. You had the complete 50s masters, the 60s masters, and the 70s masters. So they were putting out the box sets, and they were still putting out some unreleased alternate stuff in between then. But there wasn't really anything that came out in this series until July 1996 with this one, Essential Elvis Volume 4. 100 years from now. This was a CD representing the 1970 and 71 Nashville sessions, which consisted from the albums of That's the Way It Is, Love Letters from Elvis, Elvis Country, The Wonderful World of Christmas, although there's not really anything from that on here, and the album He Touched Me, and again there's not really anything from that album on there. We've since had releases like the From Elvis in Nashville and Back in Nashville box sets, which consist of all those albums, but this was still a good release for the time, and this is another really good volume. We get I Didn't Make It on Playing Guitar, Informal Jam, Washed My Hands in Muddy Water, undubbed and unedited master, Little Cabin on the Hill, alternate take 1, 100 Years From Now, alternate take 2, I've Lost You, alternate take 6, Got My Mojo Working and Keep Your Hands Off It. Claimed to be unedited and undubbed. It is undubbed, but it's been edited because these sessions tapes, sometimes Elvis would use a bit of bit of bad language in between songs or during takes, and some of this has been cut from this release, unfortunately. But you can get the unedited versions on like the FTDs and the Elvis in Nashville box set. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, take 2. Ain't No Big Thing, but it's going take 2. Cindy Cindy, take 1, which has been edited. Faded Love country version, the full take 1, which there's a home recording of that in '59 from the Today and Tomorrow and Forever box set. So that's a good. We got a studio version of that one. Rags to Riches, take 3. Just Pretend, take 2. If I Were You, take 5. Faded Love, take 3. Where Did They Go, Lord, take 1. It's Only Love, take 9. Until It's Time for You to Go, take 10. Patch It Up, take 9. Whole Lot of Shaking Going On, undubbed and unedited master. Bridge Over Troubled Water, take 5. And The Lord's Prayer, an informal performance. So we get that on there, and those are the tracks here. So these came out in CD only. As I say, the next 3 volumes came out on CD only. Oh, and the case in this is a bit broken, unfortunately, but there's the disc, which really nice design. They've made it look like a tape, which I really quite like the design of. And here's the inside with like a tape box and all the recording notes. And the booklet. Oh! Drop that. There we go. There's all the liner notes. The tracks, recording dates, when they were recorded, and like you get some nice tape. Some of the session tapes, which is nice that they include that. I sort of have to include that. A little note about Elvis and the Nashville sessions, and a bit about Felton Jarvis as well. And then Felton Jarvis was Elvis's producer from the How Great Thou Art sessions until Elvis's last recordings in the kind of Graceland Jungle Room in '76. And there's that one. Good volume. Then the next one came out 2 years later in August 1998, sorry. Elvis Rhythm and Country, Essential Elvis Volume 5. This CD consists of the 1973 July and December Stax sessions, which did the Raised on Rock, Good Times, and the Promised Land albums. So those 3 are known as the kind of Stax trilogy at the Stax Studios in Memphis. This was a good release for its time because it was the first time we had the Stax sessions released. But we've since had things like the FTD of the classic albums. Same with like this volume, and the Elvis Stax album that came out back in 2013. But still a really good release to get hold of because there's a lot of stuff on here that's because this is like this is like a cheaper way of getting the FTD stuff, because the FTD stuff can be very pricey and often not affordable. So this is like a good cheap way of getting some of these Elvis unreleased alternate takes. So anyway, here's the booklet. Nice front cover picture of Elvis. Looks like, I think that's like the guitar, and that's a picture of Elvis. I think that might be taken from two different photos, but kind of put them together. But still a nice touch, though. So a really good volume. I really like the Stax sessions, yeah, I know that the July sessions had a lot of problems, but the December sessions are said to have went really well, and the material in them is really good. Now I have to read the alternate takes in the kind of booklet because they're not printed on the back, so I'm going to go over them here. I Got a Feeling in My Body, take 1. Love in Arms, take 2. I've Got a Thing About You Baby, take 14. She Wears My Ring, take 8. You Asked Me To, take 2. There's a Honky Tonk Angel, take 1. Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues, take 8. Find Out What's Happening, take 6. For Old Time's Sake, take 3. If You Don't Come Back, take 3. The Promised Land, take 4. Thinking About You, take 4. 3 Corn Patches, take 14. Girl of Mine, take 9. Your Love's Been a Long Time Coming, take 4. Spanish Eyes, take 2. Talk About the Good Times, take 3. And If That Isn't Love, take 1. And there's like the inside and all the recording dates and all whatnot. Which is nice that they included that. The only thing about this one though is that it's missing one song, and why is Where's It's Midnight not on here? But we've since had like alternate takes on Where's Midnight, on sorry, It's Midnight on the Platinum box set and the and Elvis at Stacks. So hey, well, it's still really good to have that one. And the last volume, which came out in February 2000, is probably my favourite volume of the series, I would say. But they're all great, but this is probably the one I really like the most. Elvis Such a Night, Essential Elvis Volume 6. This CD consists of the Nashville sessions between 1960 and 64. Nice picture in the back there. I think that's from like the press conference out of after Elvis came back from the army. Picture of him on a motorbike. There's the CD. Booklet here as well. You kind of get the full picture when you kind of do it like that. Liner notes. And that's the studio, Nashville, where Elvis recorded, as did Roy Orbison and the Everly Brothers. A very famous landmark in Nashville. Would love to see that one sometime, hopefully. Again, reading the booklet because it's not printed on the back. But we get Such a Night, and it's the version that was on the A Legendary Performer Volume 2 album, with like the false starts and then the released version. Make Me Know It, Take 3. Stuck on You, Take 2. Fever, Take 1. The Girl of My Best Friend, Take 6. Soldier Boy, Take 1. Surrender, Take 9. I Believe in the Man in the Sky, Take 1. Give Me the Right, Takes 2. I'm Coming Home, Take 2. There's Always Me, Take 9. Little Sister, Take 9. I Met Her Today, Take 4. Gonna Get Back Home Somehow, Take 5. Night Rider, Take 5. Such an Easy Question, Take 1. But it's also got Take 2 because Take 1 was a false start. Suspicion, Take 2. Please Don't Drag That String Around, Take 1. Memphis, Tennessee, Take 1. Oh, sorry, Take 5. The version from 64. And It Hurts Me, Take 1. So yeah, really good volume. We've since had like a Nashville Sessions CD in the close-up box set from 60 to 68. This one, however, goes up to 64, but still a really good volume. So that was the Essential Elvis series, all 6 of them. It would be nice if we maybe had another few volumes, but you know, with the FTDs and that and all the kind of other releases, it was yeah, it was kind of, you know, maybe no point in continuing the series. And of course, then they also put out box sets like Today, Tomorrow and Forever and Close Up and other releases. So there was maybe no point in them going on with the series. It'd be nice if maybe we got a volume with like the movie post-army movie soundtracks, the Jungle Room sessions of 76. But we've got Way Down in the Jungle Room as well, which is nice. And it'd be nice if we maybe had a CD volume of the 1969 Memphis sessions, but they've been kind of represented in a number of other ways. Like there's the Suspicious Minds double CD from the 90s that has a lot of Memphis 1969 outtakes. Might get my hands on that one actually. Might get hold of that one. That's one I'll look out for. The other thing would have been nice to have had a release on, you know, is like maybe how great the Nashville sessions continuing from where Such a Night left off, so from like through to 66 to 68. But hey ho, we've got great volumes here, and what we got was great, so I'm not complaining. And I'm definitely going to discuss other Elvis releases that have been put out over the years on the channel as well, like the box sets I've got, which I'm really going to do at some point, and other releases as well. So yeah, that's the Essential Elvis series done. Highly recommended series, a great series, up there with the Legendary Performer series and the Golden Records. Couldn't pick a favourite volume because I like them all, and I enjoy them all as well. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you also like the series, leave a comment below, and like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again for the next video. And oh, meant to say, there's a vinyl update coming soon because I've got quite a few vinyls in. I've got a lot to show in terms of CDs and whatnot, and a lot of stuff to show for the next video, so it's going to be a big one, so I hope you all watch that and tune into that. But anyways, that's all for now. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you again in the next video.